Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This report, as promised, is going to be about TNA January 5th edition, the first episode of January 2012, and some other wrestling news, and also at the end will be this day in wrestling history that I used to do when I first started the Shreveport Connection. And you will find out why I call it the black, let me go to my results, see what I named it. Okay. Black Death in Wrestling. Okay. Well, matches taped Monday and Tuesday in Orlando, Florida for upcoming episodes of TNA Explosion are as follows. Christopher Daniels versus Devon. Unknown result on that match. Kazarian versus Samoa Joe. Unknown on that one. But I do know the Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe match. On that one, Samoa Joe won that one. To celebrate TNA's wrestling upcoming tour of the United Kingdom, Challenge have teamed up with the wrestling organization to run a competition which includes a first place prize of a dinner with Velvet Sky. Details are available at challenge.co.uk/games/competition.html. Well, Brutus Magnus has been confirmed that he will be a part of TNA project that will be taped in India. He joins the following other confirmed list of talent for the project: Harry Smith, Luke Gallows, Chris Masters, Nick Eugene Dinsmore, Jimmy Rave, Joey Ryan, Sean DeVary, Sanjay Dutt, and Zema Ion. Maria Kanellis appeared on the World Wrestling Insanity program with James Gutman. Interview available at worldwrestlinginsanity.com. And she discussed joining TNA. And here's what the report was saying. Fans who have never heard Maria outside her WWE character are surprised by her intelligence and humor. A completely different person than the ditzy interviewer fans came to expect. Kanellis has always been positive about her time with WWE, but doesn't sugarcoat anything either. As James Gutman asked during the clubwwi.com interview, what surprised her the most when transitioning from WWE fan to performer? Maria answers, quote, I was surprised by how unhappy people were. It's the greatest company in the world, but there are so many people within that company that still struggle with their creative abilities not being used. I think you see that in so many people that come out of it. They have motorcycle shops or have tattoo parlors or they're designers and want to do fashions. Maurice came out and said she wants to do fashion. Tori wants to do fashion. Trish has her own yoga studio and her own yoga line. So many of us just feel creatively stifled, unquote. And Maria spoke in depth about that the good and the bad from working with in WWE, but even the bad points have a silver lining. As many fans know, Maria was released just as her stint on Celebrity Apprentice began. James pointed out how that seemed to be something that the company does regularly. Wrestlers join reality shows and just as they're about to get exposure, then they get released. Maria agrees, but points out to Club WWI listeners that too had a silver lining. Quote, it's funny, it happened with me, it happened with Ashley, it happened with Stacy, Jericho has left again. It's just one of those weird things that happen. I think it's because WWE thinks that we get we get the big head out of it. It's not necessarily that we get the big head out about it. It's just we start to learn. We start to learn what's out there. Okay, this is what is going on. I want to fix it. I want to put it in my contract. I want to be able to talk about it. As soon as you start doing that, it was like you lose all your leverage. Would I have left when I did? Yes, I would have done it differently. Maybe, I don't know. I think back on it. Now I had a lot going on in my life that didn't involve WWE. So I don't know if I was in the greatest position to make the decision that I did. But I am thankful that I've had so much time to see other things and do other things. I've had a lot of great opportunities. Plus, and I know like this is so girly, but I wouldn't have met the guy I'm with now if it wasn't for me being released. One door open when another door closes. James pointed out that those who follow Maria on Twitter at Maria Kanellis and Facebook, that's facebook.com/official Maria Kanellis, are aware that she's currently dating Ring of Honor star, the Prodigy, Mike Bennett. JG and Kanellis go on to discuss Ring of Honor, their rabid fan base, her thoughts on the company, and attending shows with CM Punk, Sinclair, and more. But, of course, there's another non-WWE company people probably ask her about a great deal, and Gutman is no exception, and that is TNA. Is that something in the cards for the Slammy Award-winning diva? Could we see Maria in the Impact Zone anytime soon? As the ClubWWI.com interview continues, Kanellis responds, quote, I would say never, but at the same time, I don't see myself going there. I'm kind of a WWE girl. They brought me in. They're the ones that gave me all the publicity I've had so far. Getting on Celebrity Apprentice was from that. Doing Playboy was from that. Doing all the other little shows here and there was from it. So I just don't see myself going there. But that doesn't mean it'll never happen, unquote. The interview doesn't end there. Gutman's in-depth 45-minute interview with the legendary Maria is just one of the hundreds available on Club WWI. The moment you join up, from Samoa Joe to Haku, you can hear them all, along with thousands of hours of audio from show host Paul Roma. If you're not familiar with Paul Roma, he was the Pretty Wonderful with a Pretty Paul and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Glacier, and World Wrestling Insanity staff. Mr. Anderson is advertised to face former WWE star MVP at Champion Showcase 2012, which takes place February 4th, 2012 in Manila, Philippines at Smart Araneta Coliseum. More details are available through that company. Other advertised talent on the same show include Carlito, Chris Masters, Shelton Benjamin, Snitsky. I hadn't heard Snitsky in like a year or two. Luke Gallows. Shane Helms returns, or is just going to show. Rhino, DeVary, Jimmy Wang Yang, Billy Gunn, April Hunter, and Jillian Hall returns to the ring again. Well, okay, Jesse Neal's first post-TNA appearance takes place this Saturday in Orlando, Florida. For I Believe in Wrestling, he is scheduled to face JD Amazing. Former WWE performer Melina Perez denied rumors that it was her and joined TNA Wrestling as a masked persona during the Mickie James match. And she tweeted Wednesday, everyone is so funny. I'm not in TNA. If I go anywhere, I would tell you all first, unquote. Her message in response to a masked female combatant appearing at Tuesday's Impact Wrestling taping in Orlando, Florida, which was set for next week's episode on TV. Reby Sky noted on Twitter that fans can send Matt Hardy, who at last word will not be home for Christmas, letters or Christmas cards through the holidays to the following address. Send it to Matt Hardy, P.O. Box 713, Vass, North Carolina, 28394. TNA tape, December 29th, 2011, Impact Wrestling on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Thanks to Eric for the following spoilers, and there are going to be 2 reports on this. One from Eric himself, as he always does with TNA tapings. Okay, taped on Tuesday was Gail Kim and Madison Rayne call out Tara and Miss Tessmacher. Madison fires them both but Sting comes out and says Madison has no power. Sting makes Gail versus Mickey for the knockout title as the main event. Gunner with Ric Flair wrestled Douglas Williams to a no contest. Gunner hit the referee. Gunner DDT Williams on the concrete as he was stretchered out. Well, all these people that he's being pile drived or DDT'd on the concrete are seemingly to leave or be injured in some way to make Gunner a more powerful and mean wrestler. Okay. Magnus and Samoa Joe beat ODB and Eric Young in the wild card tournament. Still unknown why they even brought this tournament out. Rob Van Dam beat Kurt Angle by DQ when James Storm interfered. Cass and AJ Styles beat Abyss and Scott Steiner in the wild card tournament. Abyss turned on Steiner and laid him out in the match. Bully Ray came out to talk with Abyss. They will wrestle in Monsters Ball at Genesis, and if Abyss loses, he will rejoin Immortal. Gail Kim defeated Mickie James to retain the knockout title in a solid, long knockout match. While Gail was down on the outside and the referee was checking on her, a masked woman ran in and hit Madison Rayne's finisher, laying Mickie out. Gail took advantage and then got the pin on Mickie. And there was a lot of chatter in the crowd that it was Melina that was the one who appeared. And that was your taping for Tuesday. And that was by Eric. On Wednesday, Bobby Roode did a segment where he attacked an old friend from outside of TNA. Jeff Hardy made the save. Zema Ion beat Tony Nese in the third match of the best of 3 series. The contract was on a pole, and Zema Ion will face Austin Aries for the X Division title at Genesis. And that was a report sent on Tuesday. Well, Eric has sent in the following reports for spoilers for Wednesday's taping. This will air on January 5th. Gail Kim and Madison Rayne defeated Mickie James and Tracy Brooks in a tag team knockout match. He said it was a solid match. Sting came out, called Jeff Hardy to the ring, and gives him props for getting trust back. Sting continued to put Hardy over and says he supports him 100%. Kurt Angle, Bully Ray, and Bobby Roode interrupt. James Storm eventually comes out with Abyss and interrupts them. This set up a 6-man match for tonight's main event. Well, that's December. That's the January 5th episode. So, up next was Gunner and Rob Van Dam wrestled until Gunner tried to pile drive RVD on the concrete, like he has been doing with the previous month of December matches. And he put Jesse Neal out on tonight's episode of Impact with the pile driver on the cement floor. And thus, Jesse Neal is gone from TNA, if you don't remember my report. RVD fought off and the officials ran down to make the save. But the report said for Gunner. But why are they saving Gunner when they were? The report should have been saving RVD. Okay, well I get it now because they were saving Gunner from a beatdown that RVD was going to give him. So the officials are going with Gunner. Backstage segment with some of the TNA knockouts. Jesse Sorensen and Zima Ion beat Kid Cash and Austin Aries in a tag match. Samoa Joe and Magnus beat Kaz and AJ Styles in the finals of the Wild Card Tag Team Tournament. It appears Kaz is turning on AJ and joining Daniels as Kaz cost AJ the match for their team. But it was an interruption from Daniels that cost AJ the match. Okay, Abyss, James Storm, and Jeff Hardy wrestled Bobby Roode, Kurt Angle, and Billy Ray to a no contest. End of the match was chaos as Billy Ray hung Abyss off the ring with a chain. Roode applied the crossface on Hardy, and Angle put Storm in the ankle lock to end the show. Now, this next report came from PW Insider. Zima Ion defeated Anthony Nese in the final of their best of 3 series, but they didn't mention the other match. So Zima challenges Austin Aries at Genesis. They open Impact with an in-ring segment setting up a 6-man tag. Well, if that happened, the Zima Ion match wasn't even on the show. Knockout champion Gail Kim and Madison Rayne defeated Mickie James and Tracy Brooks. Gunner vs. RVD went to a no contest when they lost control, but during a brawl, he went for the pile driver on the floor. Then they just prevented him from doing it. Okay, Zima Ion and Jesse Sorensen defeated Austin Aries and Kid Cash. Magnus and Samoa Joe defeated AJ Styles and Kazarian to win the tournament. And will challenge Crimson and Matt Morgan at Genesis. Christopher Daniels distracted Kazarian, causing Styles to lose. Okay. Jeff Hardy and James Storm and Abyss wrestled Bobby Roode, Billy Ray, and Kurt Angle to a double DQ. The heels laid out the baby faces, which will be the final scene leading into Genesis pay-per-view. And now for this day in wrestling history, December 15th of the prior years. And this to me would be considered as Black Death in the wrestling business. And this is where you will find out. 1996, WWF in Your House 12. It's time was held in West Palm Beach, Florida. On the free-for-all show, Rocky Maivia defeated Salvatore Sinceri by DQ. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog defeated Fake Diesel and Fake Razor Ramon to retain the WWF tag titles. Mark Merrow defeated Hunter Hearst Helmsley by count out. Helmsley retained the WWF Intercontinental title because you can't win on a count out. Or can't lose it on a count out. Undertaker defeated the Executioner in an Armageddon Rules, which is a last man standing match. Psycho Sid defeated Bret Hart to retain the WWF title. In 2002, WWE Armageddon. So there's two different pay-per-views on the same date in history. Well, it was held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Booker T and Goldust defeated Lance Storm and William Regal, Chris Jericho and Christian, and the Dudleys. That's Bubba Ray and Devon, for those that don't know. In a fatal 4-way elimination match to win the tag titles. Victoria defeated Trish Stratus and Jacqueline in a triple threat to retain the women's title. Kurt Angle defeated Big Show to win the WWE title. Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels in the 3 Stages of Hell match to win the WWE World Heavyweight title. That's the World Heavyweight title. Okay, other title changes in history in 1970. Tim Woods and George Scott defeated the Outlaws. That's Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch, for those that don't know. Oh, you didn't know? I just told you so. To win the WCCW American Tag Team titles. 1976, Blackjack Mulligan defeated Paul Jones to win the NWA Mid-Atlantic United States title. 1984, Buddy Landell defeated Bill Dundee to win the MSW TV title. 1998, Road Dogg defeated the Big Boss Man to win the WWF Hardcore title. 2001, Shinya Hashimoto defeated Steve Corino, Dylan Knight, and Gary Steele in a four-way Iron Man match to win the vacant NWA World title. Well, now for birthdays. Happy birthday to former TNA wrestler Bruno Sassi. I don't know who he is or what character he went under, but I believe that's his real name. He's 41. Four-time NWA Tag Team Champion Elix Skipper turned 44. One-time WCW Tag Team Champion Kendall Windham turned 44. Former WWE World Tag Team Champion Rene Dupree turned 28. Or it says 28. I guess it's 28 in holding. And two-time TNA Tag Team Champion Eric Young turned 32. And now for your Black Death in the wrestling business. The world has lost 3 personalities on this day. To me, this would be considered as Black Death in the wrestling business. First, in 1963, Japanese legend I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to do my best. Rikidozan. It's spelled almost like Rikishi, but Dozan at the end instead of she. He died at the age of 39. He had been a professional sumo wrestler, but gave it up 1950. Okay, citing financial reasons. Though it's likely that discrimination against Koreans was a real reason for his career change, he quickly established himself as Japan's biggest wrestling star by beating a stream of American wrestlers who came to tour Japan through his JWA promotion. His worldwide reputation was cemented when he defeated Luthez for the NWA International Heavyweight title in 1958. And he went on to become a regular contender for the NWA World title, notably two of Rikidozan's matches rank amongst the best rated Japanese TV shows of all time. His 1957 NWA World title match against Luthez drew a staggering 87.0 rating, and his 1963 match with the Destroyer drew a 67.0. As more people owned TVs at the point, the viewing numbers were actually higher for this match. On December 8th, he was partying in a nightclub when he was stabbed with a urine-soaked blade by a member of the Yakuza. Reports vary, with some saying that Baba refused medical attention, and others saying that he did seek medical attention but was told that the wound was not serious. However, his condition quickly worsened. Peritonitis set in, and he died a week after the initial attack. Secondly, 1998, former wrestler Dean Battlecat Peters died at the age of 40. Peters' mainstream career began in 1986 when he began working as a jobber for the WWF under the name of Brady Boone. Despite his jobber status, he won several times on house shows and had a perfect record, and even faced the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title on two separate occasions. 1990, the Battlecat career was born. He remained undefeated on house shows, but the character never caught on, and he was released later that year. Peters made few appearances for WCW under the Brady Boone name, but soon retired from active duty, becoming a referee. He was killed in a car accident following WCW TV taping. Interestingly, he graduated from the same schools, the same high school alongside Kurt Hennig, Rick Rude, and Tom Zink. Rob Van Dam is also on record as having been inspired by Peters' in-ring style. Finally, in 2001, former developmental talent Russ Haas died at the age of 27. Those not familiar with Russ, he was Charlie Haas's brother, and they both were signed to a developmental deal, but they were finishing their independent scene contracts before heading up to WWE. Well, Russ died with a heart attack condition. Okay, several independent promotions when WWF came calling in the year 2000. Continued to team with his brother to 2001, winning the MCW, one of the WWE's developmental territories. They won the tag titles on 3 occasions. He suffered a heart attack on September 24th, forcing him to take time off, but succumbed to a second not too long after. It was later discovered that he had a previously undiagnosed heart condition. In tribute, his brother Charlie began wrestling as R.C. Haas. And several indie promotions held tribute shows. Charlie and his wife Jackie also named their first son, dedicated to Russ, and named him Thomas Russell in honor of him. And that will end my report for TNA Wrestling, or actually Impact Wrestling, for the 29th and January 5th. Thank you, and y'all have a nice year for TNA.